Working hard, mate.
That's what I live, mate.
You look like it with that hat. I expected a copy of Razzle, the Auto Trader.
What do you think I've got hidden in the pages?
We're just having a look at your Beamer, mate.
Yeah.
Looking a little bit sorry for itself up there on the ramps.
Yes, I haven't driven it in over a year now. For ages I've been meaning to get the diff, an M3 diff put on with an LSD. It's always an open diff. And I've been fanning around getting this built with a 3.9 ratio instead of a 3.15, which an M3 has.
That sounds very technical, mate.
What it meant was it was really difficult to pull away and it kept sagging clutches.
So no good for donuts then?
No, it weren't. No, it always span the inside wheel, whereas this one, on the other hand, will be good.
Should be the baby.
So yeah, I need a hand off you guys later to fit the whole rear beam. I got the old one off on my own, but in pieces. It's kind of in the corner.
So that's where you've been all week?
Yeah, that's what I've been down here, polishing exhausts and things.
Damn.
Cheeky monkey.
I've got a, before we go, mate, I've got to ask you. You've got a lovely high performance car here, and your golf clubs.
Yeah, it's
you live the life.
They love all this down the golf club, the cinema. As you can probably tell,
nice.
It's been sitting in there for a little while. So first job is to get the battery charger on it. So hopefully it will be now. Probably. Yeah, let's
give it a go.
Let's hope he's happy. Sean, is anything rattling down near the radiator? Is there anything rattling down near the radiator? Clutch, which ain't too bad when it's cold, but when it's hot it's a bit on or off, so weaving around areas like that slowly is a bit more difficult.
Didn't love that, did it?
Let's give him a bath. I might as well give you a bit of a guided tour whilst cleaning. A lot of people ask why the graphics are back to front on this side, and the answer is we just sort of copied the Japanese fashion of the drift cars, of having sort of identical, what's the word?
Mirrored.
Yeah.
Identical.
Graphics either side.
Yeah.
So that's that. Pretty boring really.
Okay, what about the body kit? Yeah.
That's a Jun part, which we bought directly off Jun in Japan. We then sent this blade off to Rich at All Smiles, who wrapped it in carbon, because Jun don't do a carbon one, so
The proper one up then.
yeah. Previously, when it was orange and blue, this car, it kept scorching the bumper, and we thought that was because the exhaust was too far in, but it turns out it's the fire that's the problem, not the length of the exhaust. down here, we've got another exhaust, or what's known as a screamer pipe. And what a screamer pipe is when the engine comes on boost, the wastegate's open, and they direct sort of excess gas down the screamer pipe. Normally that gets ducted back into the original exhaust, but we thought instead of going back into the exhaust, we'll come out into its own pipe. So there's our screamer pipe. Over here, instead of a headlight, we've got a Tomai air scoop that sort of supplies nice cold air into the turbo side, the inlet side of the engine. I'm pretty sure it is road legal, because I think you only need headlights in the dark. I expect we'll find that out when we get stopped. We have got a headlight that we put in for the night time.
Tell us about your rim then, mate.
Rims, we've got 9.5 by 20 inch bulk GTST Phase 2 rims all round. Gunmetal grey centres, optional centre caps. Shod in 20 inch 225/30/20 BF Goodrich G profilers. We had it round Donington the other week, and they actually hang on really well, so I'm quite pleased with that. The front we've got an AP 6-pot conversion, 355mm discs, and they work pretty well. The old brakes did work well. We had, when the car was standard, I took it around Castle Coop, and it was braking really, really well. But when I come off the track, the guy, he said, your brakes are on fire. I thought, yeah, whatever. Got out, sure enough, the pads were on fire. So we've upgraded the standard Brembos for some bigger APs. Flaming brakes, not a problem anymore. I love that.
All right. It's about the flow. It's about the flow. Now you know. Now you know. It's about the flow. It's about the flow.
Yeah, the gearbox is very different to a standard one. On a standard gearbox, you can, if we're driving along like this, if I put my foot on the clutch, you can change into any gear you want, but with the aid of the synchro meshes. Whereas this hasn't got any synchro, well, it has in 5th gear. It's called a dog engagement, so you need to match the engine revs to the gearbox speed. It basically means that if you've got a lot of revs, you can get it into any gear you want, not a problem. But if you're trying to drive slowly, you need to match the engine speed and the gearbox speed. And it means when you change down, you have to blip the engine revs like that for it to go in, otherwise you'll get a horrible crunch.
Yeah, not one for your old nan to drive around town then.
No, not at all. It's as I was saying, the triple plate clutch is a little bit on or off, so that's not good for traffic. And the gearbox isn't very nice for changing gear a lot, unless you're out on the track and you really mean it, then it's great. But just for pootling, not that good. Dog box is how quickly we can change gear when we are in a hurry. A little bit like this. There it is. Business end. Now, depending on what pub you're drinking, everyone's mate has got a mate who's got a Skyline that's 600 or 700 brake horsepower. Invariably, they're not even warm. The only way to properly find out really is put the engine on an engine dyno, i.e. engine out of the car on a bed, and that's exactly what we did with this one. When it's running 2-bar boost, we've got exactly 586 horsepower. It's only running 1 bar at the moment, so that little drive around was probably about 350 horsepower, something like that. Mainly because the fuel system on the car at the moment isn't quite up to supplying enough fuel for that power. So to save risking damaging the engine, we need to upgrade the fuel system before we can run the full power. In order to do that, we need to lose some of the audio out of the boot, so we'll get there in the end. But anyway, the engine itself, we started with some Wiseco forged pistons. They're slightly overboard, so it's a little bit bigger capacity than standard, and slightly lower compression. We've got a set of Blitz 700cc injectors, G-ready variable vernier cam pulleys, Blitz cams, HKS fuel rail, because the bigger injectors have slightly wider necks, so you need a fuel rail that will fit the wider ones. G-ready inlet. We've got sort of some specially made boost pipes on the intercooler and the outlet of the turbo. It's a Blitz single turbo conversion with a beautiful stainless manifold down there that you may or may not be able to see. And we've still got a fair bit of tidying, and it's kind of, we always said it'd be a bit of a job for the winter. We'd finish the engine bay. We've got some carbon and some polished bits and a lot of tidying and a washer bottle and breather tank and things like that to sort out. But it's alright for now. It's taken us around the summer shows this year, so we'll get beavering over the winter and show you next year what it's capable of.
Winner.
I'll show you the boot. The boot is awesome. There's a superb trick idea. What we've got underneath this TV here, there's a little camera there. Don't know if you can see him. That camera, when the boot is closed, looks at these 2 gauges. That's a boost gauge and an exhaust gas temperature gauge. And what you do is select that on the TV on the dash, so you've actually got the gauges on the telly. In reality, the camera ain't really good enough, so it doesn't really work, but it's a nice idea. The other problem we've got with this superb sounding and superb looking boot install is it wasn't done with servicing in mind, i.e. if we want to change a bulb, we can't, because we've got this huge audio install. So another little job we've got over the winter is to modify the boot install slightly. We'll be taking out some of these tellies. We'll reduce the size of the subwoofer. We'll lose a lot of the sort of the show stuff. Make it a bit lighter, so that we can get access to the various ECUs and things that we need to get to. We can access fuel supplies. We can change light bulbs, and we'll lose a little bit of weight as well. So we'll see what it does on the quarter mile next year.